Trent, Kofi goes to the bench with fouls and obviously to make the run. What's this game say about what he means to you guys as a team?
Just the impact he has, in the interior. I think, like you said, what he brings to this team, his physicality, us throwing the ball in there, his scoring, his rebounding. So he does a lot for us, offense and defensively. So kind of, we didn't have him, that second half in the first half, second part of the first half. He had foul trouble. So, it kind of put a lot of pressure on us because we, with such all the good shooters we have, we kind of tend to, stay outside, shoot, a lot of threes, and we don't go inside as much because, him, being out. So we got to do a better job of, trying to get to the free throw line and then, while he's out, withstanding that lead.
Kofi, I'm going to ask you about him. You seem to take over the game in the second half, and the midway of the second half. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's incredible, man, what he does. Just taking over and getting on those heaters. Every time I see it, it's like it's new to me. It's like I'm in awe. I'm just watching it. Like I don't know if you watch the game and you watch my face after he shoots it, but like I'm always like smiling. Like it's a joy, just watching him do what he does. It's really important to us because when we have games like this that we're not shooting it well, and he can get on the heater and he do what he does, he really uplifts the team and gives us a different vibe.
For both of you guys, are you coming off a one-day rest, and Trent plays all 40 minutes. Kofi played 20 in the second half. Did you have to dig down really deep to find the energy in this one?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I talked about it, earlier, in a few days before. This is, coach is trying to prepare us for the, NCAA tournament. Play a game, one day prep, play a game. So, it's nothing we're not used to. We played, games back to back, early in our season. So, it's something where you just got to be mentally, focused, and do everything before the game, beforehand to, prepare your mind and your body, to feel good to go out there and play. So, like I said, you just got to be, mentally strong, and dialed in on everything.
Yeah,
For Kofi, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, man, same thing. Like Trent said, when you got games like this that we're pressured to play multiple minutes, a lot more minutes that we used to, we just got to give it our all, for the guy next to us. That's the culture that we're building. Just going out there and playing to the level of fatigue, and just basically busting our ass for the guy next to us.
Yeah. Kofi, obviously you had came out about midway through the second half for foul trouble. In that situation, are you lobbying on the bench to get back in, or are you just letting kind of things run its course and see how things go?
Yeah, I know what it is. It's either I sit on the bench or I come in and risk getting another foul and sitting out the second half. Either way it turned out, I was prepared to go back in and do my best. It went the way it did, and coach told me at half that he's not taking me out of the game. So I had to mentally prepare for that, knowing that I'm not coming out. So I got to give my best, and I got to make sure I control my breathing, talk to these guys, uplift them every time I can, and it's basically giving all our effort.
Yeah, for Trent, those 2 threes that you hit on those back-to-back shots seemed to really kind of get the stadium going, get the energy going that you guys needed. Did you kind of feel that, or what kind of went through your mind after you made those 2 shots? Because Maryland called a timeout after it.
It was kind of in the flow. I tend to go on those, heaters where I'm just feeling good. Coach dialed up a play, to get me a shot. So, I seen one go in, and I had another opportunity, so I took another one. So. Just playing with confidence, in that area, where, I'm getting out in transition freely, just playing my game. So, like I said, I felt good, shooting those shots, and, just, playing with the rhythm.
A question for both of you guys. Could you talk about the minutes that DeMonte gave in the second half covering Dante Scott?
He's been incredible for us, these last 4 games. Garden, every team's best, 4-man. He's done an unbelievable job last game guarding point guards, and now tonight, with his defensive effort, what he does for this team is incredible because, it kind of tends, to take me off the ball. I have to be on the ball all the time, so that gives me opportunity, to get my breather a little bit. So with his energy and effort to go, and only let Dante give up 2 points in the second half there is incredible, and and that's why we won the basketball game tonight. He was outstanding for all the minutes he played for us. He had tremendous effort throughout the entire game.
In the way back?
Yeah, DeMonte is just the X factor for us. It's really hard to replace a guy like that. You probably see 1 or 2 guys like him in the country. Probably Mark Vital from Baylor last year. But like, this is a guy that comes out there and he does all the dirt, all the dirty work. He comes down, he plays hard defense, he sacrifices a lot. He's just that guy that's about the team and about winning. He's willing to give his all for the team, and for the guys next to him.
Way back.
Trent, does this feeling of kind of being the new closer on the team give you any sort of additional excitement? I mean, you've kind of adopted that role, and the whole stadium is going nuts for you.
I kind of just tend to play in rhythm. I don't really, think about. I mean, obviously, when the game's, tight. Obviously, I would love to make the play all the time, but I kind of just try to have feel for the game. Kofi was eating tonight, so I tend to sacrifice shots, give him the ball, because that's I know every time I throw it in there, it's either a foul or a bucket. So I mean, I just kind of have feel for the game. Being a fifth year, I think that's very important to have. Throughout the game, just having feel. So when I hit those shots, I just kind of tend to play in rhythm. Just if I feel myself and I feel comfortable, I take the shots. When I'm open. So like I said, I kind of love going on those heaters where I just hit 3-4 in a row and just playing throughout the flow of the game.
Kofi, you seemed to spot Ayo there a couple of times. What was that like? What was going through your head as you were seeing him watch you and you do your thing?
Ayo's great, man. Going into the second half, it ran through my mind. I'm like, Ayo's hanging his banner tonight. I can't let him hang his jersey on a loss. That was going through my mind. I was like, I gotta do this for Ayo. I gotta do this for Ayo. So when we got that turn, and I started like imposing my will, I kind of looked at him, I glanced at him, and smiled at him like, this is for you, Ayo. I love him so much, man. And for us to do that for him and for him to come back and hang his jersey the way he did, it's really great, man.
Trent, we saw you go on one of those heaters against Missouri and against Arizona. What comes over you? Like, can you describe the feeling when you're kind of on one? And do you take a moment to kind of embrace the whole environment when it starts to really get behind you there?
Like I said, I kind of just, play within the flow of the game. I kind of trust my instincts, and, when the games like that, I tend to be, a little bit more aggressive, coming off ball screens, where, I'm shooting those pull-up threes, in transition, where I'm free, shooting the pull-up. So I kind of just find, where I can, be aggressive, and use my advantage, with my shooting, my speed, to take advantage, on offense in those areas. So it's all about, the flow of the game and just, the feel and just, how I think the game is going.
You just being a fifth-year guy, do you take a couple moments to absorb the atmosphere around you when the State Farm Center is going like that?
Of course. I get goosebumps. When I go in those heaters, I always get goosebumps. Just how loud it is. Obviously not having Orange Crush tonight, but just the atmosphere in here tonight was incredible. Having a line of fans behind us. It got loud in the second half. And that's what it's about. I love these type of environments, playing these type of games. So it's always fun. Incredible to be a part of it.
Yes. Trent, kind of with that, Coach Underwood was trying to pump the crowd up there early in the second half, and when you were hitting those threes, Tim actually had to hold Chester back from getting on the court. Do you sense when the coaches are getting into the game like that?
Of course, obviously, first half we didn't shoot the ball well. I didn't think we did a good job. We had a few mistakes. It was all about confidence. We talked about that at halftime. Just jumping up and shooting the ball with confidence, but we came out of the second half with that energy to spark, like you said, you got the coaches involved, we got a line of fans involved. So, we had to get the stadium going, just having it. So we play off that, and it's incredible. Like I said, it's incredible to play in these type of environments, these type of games, because, it gets all of us going.
Trent, you mentioned sacrificing to get Kofi the ball. It seems like this team does that really well. Why do you think this team shares the ball, sacrifices roles like Jake did last year? Why do you think this team has done that? We're trying to win. Whatever it takes to win, I think, if we want to win, we need to throw that ball in there to Kofi. Every time we get, I kind of tell him every time, I kind of miss him sometimes, but I always tell him, whenever I get the ball, I'm looking right at you every time, because I know it's a foul or a bucket every time. Like, why would you not want to throw the ball to the best player in the country, best big in the country? You're shooting 70% in that paint. So it's important, we always, the first option in our offense is Kofi. We always look at his numbers and make sure we can throw that ball in there. If not, we'll look at him next time. But it's important, we continue to, elevate each other. That's something we use a lot, and just,
be happy for the next man up, whoever's scoring.
Doug and then Scott to finish it.
Kofi, I know you got the box score in front of you there. 19 offensive rebounds, 26 second chance points. What does that say about the team's ability to win various different ways? If the threes aren't going, you can go to the rim.
Yeah, man. Those are the things that impact winning. Sometimes you're gonna have bad nights like we had today shooting from the three. We're the best 3-point shooting team in the country, and when we have nights like that, we tend to rely on something else, whether it's offensive rebounding, whether it's defense. Just being aggressive and just being that guy being that team that it doesn't matter if we're shooting the ball well. We're gonna keep in the game. We're gonna be in the game. We're gonna give ourselves a shot just by playing harder than the other team and imposing our will. So offensive rebounding, playing hard defense. When you got guys like Trent and Monty that take great pride in that, in my defensive presence, and other guys obviously. But when you have that, it's really hard to beat us. When we're not, even when we're not shooting the ball well.
We'll wrap it up with Scott.
Kofi, maybe understanding the plan when you had 2 fouls was to wait for the second half. Was that tough? Like as the lead kind of started to slip away, just maybe when you wanted to be out there.
Yeah, man, it's always tough. Especially when the lead's going down and when they take the lead. I was watching these guys struggle a little bit. Wishing I could be out there, but it's not about being negative and holding your head down. It's about preparing for what's next. You can't dwell on the past. You got to think about the future. You know what I'm saying? I can't let that affect me, and I'll come back and impact the game. So it's just about forward thinking, coming out there and giving them the best shot to win.
Okay, thank you guys.
Typical Big Ten game, I think. I had some concerns coming in, more about this game actually than I did the Minnesota game. And that's not to slight Minnesota, just the fact that so long off and traveling and a one-day prep. And I will admit I am a big fan of one-day preps. I don't mind those games. I've played them a lot in my career. But, just the mental sharpness and the mental focus and then the fatigue. So I thought that we got off to a really good start, and then I thought that foul trouble obviously was a big piece of the end of that first half. But more importantly than that, it's one of those things that as coaches and as a head coach, I try to make decisions on how to play guys with 2 fouls. And I've pretty much determined with Trent, DeMonte, and Kofi, I'm going to play him with 2. And yet tonight I don't. And one of the things that there's one of my favorite ladies back there, but I just saw her make my damn free throws. But I missed that, by the way, Jamara. But I think the one thing that I felt like that they were some close call. The game was being called really closely. I thought, Kofi's fouls were a little, at the rim. Fats Russell does a tremendous job of getting downhill. And so I chose to set him. We had a 14-point lead, and we obviously went down at half. But I'm more disappointed in the fact that I didn't think we played very well in that stretch with any rhythm offensively. We got to get better at that. I thought the ball became stagnant. And everybody knows that I thought we got good looks, but we shot him out of rhythm. And my hat's off to DeMonte Williams. Unbelievable job defensively in the second half. I'm playing DeMonte. I played DeMonte 36 minutes tonight, and the whole Dante Scott, a guy he's given up 4 or 5 inches to, and we'll go light, 25 pounds. Maybe more. He just made his touches hard. I thought Trent did an unbelievable job tonight of making Ayala's opportunities more very difficult. But this is a good Maryland team, a team that's was ranked, was picked at the top of the league, and has a lot of experience and a lot of veterans out there. So we knew they would make a run. And then I thought Kofi's second half was just dominant, and that's what Kofi can do. And 18 rebounds, 23 points, most of those, obviously in the second half. So very fortunate tonight.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Brad, you guys have been shooting the cover off the ball, and then tonight you don't, but you find a way to win. How were you able to find a way to win?
It's our whole mantra of this program. It's our whole identity. It's what we talk about all the time is when the ball doesn't go in, how do you win? When it doesn't go in, there's going to be that night. There's going to be a night in an NCAA tournament or two when that thing does not go in, and it gets really hard. And, I think you do that with defense, and I think you do it with dominant rebounding. I should mention Coleman Hawkins, 8 rebounds, 6 offensive, and gave us opportunities. And so we had one of those nights, and we looked like a team that had played 36 hours ago, 48 hours ago, and wasn't quite clicking. Weren't in the right rhythm tonight.
Doug?
Coach, coming off one day rest, and it's kind of an Ironman situation with Trent Frazier, who went all 40 minutes. Kofi played all 20 in the second half. Did the guys have to dig down a little bit deep for some extra energy in this one?
Yeah, the good thing is I don't ever have to worry about Trent being tired. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's always got that energy. The timeouts hit right. I tried to sub Kofi out at 2 different occasions in the second half, and he literally said, "I'm good. Don't take me out." And that's when you trust your veterans. He's not trying to be a hero. You just trust your veterans and to how they feel. So, DeMonte playing that long, again, I thought we got great combination of DeMonte, Jacob, and Coleman all did a nice job tonight.
That stretch in the first half when Kofi was out and maybe the offense did get stagnant, did that just maybe illustrate how important he is beyond, scoring 23 points, maybe just how much he opens up?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it's, everybody's got to figure out how to guard him and what they do. And, this is a copycat league. I mean, people are going to see how, they didn't do anything tonight that we haven't seen. Minnesota changed a whole defensive scheme to play us, instead of going under because of our three-point shooters, and they chose to single cover him. So everything's going to be predicated around how teams choose to defend him. But our rhythm, our ball movement was really slow, and we missed a couple opportunities at the rim, and Jake had an uncharacteristic tough night, and but that happens, and we just got to learn to play in better rhythm.
Alec?
Yeah, Coach, you talk all the time about how much confidence you have in Trent Frazier to knock down shots. He hits 2 threes in a row, and those seem to be kind of a big swing in the game. He says he goes on these heaters. For you as a coach, how much fun is it for you to see him do that on a routine basis now?
Yeah, he's very – we've seen that now for a lot in his career. And the good thing with Trent is it doesn't matter if he's one for 100. It's the next shot for him. And it doesn't bother him, and he finds an opportunity, and he just jumps up and knocks him down, and he gets a couple looks, and he gets that feeling now. We all know he's very capable of 30 and a half, and we needed every one of those tonight.
Hey, Coach, you talked about Coleman Hawkins. How do you feel he's settling into that role coming off the bench?
Yeah, we started him early, and now bringing him back off the bench, and I think he's settled down. I think he's understanding where his role was. We were unfair to him early. We had everybody out with injuries and sickness, and we were playing him at the point. We were playing him on the wing. We were playing him at the 4. We were trying to play him some backup 5. Now and tonight we actually did play him a little bit at the 5, but that's he's settling into his role, and that's been impressive. And I think we're going to start seeing those numbers like we have tonight and at Minnesota, and just continue to get better.
Andy?
And I know kind of when you're at halftime and you're going to kind of ride Kofi a lot in that second half, what do you kind of tell him after being out for so long, and how do you kind of prepare him for just kind of what you guys kind of need to do?
Get loose. Really that simple. Get loose. Big boy, we're coming. And I thought we did a nice job. It's a simple answer to a question that I think Maryland knew what we were going to try to do, but just get loose. He'd set for a long time, and that's the first play of the half was to him, and we were going to keep riding that until they guarded him or didn't guard him.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, with Iowa in the building tonight and raising his jersey, and you got another guy on the floor whose jersey's probably going to go up as well. Are you able to step outside your coach's role and appreciate that, over the last 2 seasons, these 2 players, some of the best in Illinois basketball history, and what they've meant to this program?
Yeah, there's so many people, and his mother's sitting back here, and I told the team afterwards. To me, this is what makes Illinois basketball so damn good and so powerful, and I use that. And here's a guy that chose to come to us when we weren't winning. We stunk. We were a bad basketball team, and believed in us. Io was coachable. He was a guy that was character over characters, filled that. But he's the definition of everything that we want our program to be about. And it's no surprise he's having a great NBA career, and he'll have a long one as good Lord blesses his body and he stays healthy. He'll play in that league for a long time. And but it's always really special to know, one, he texts me all the time. I'm following him. He's following us. He bleeds orange and blue. And this is always home. And he's one of 34. Is that right? 34 now?
I think so, yeah.
That have his jersey hanging up there. And the history of this program is so powerful. People don't understand it. And all that being said, better young man than he is player, and he's a great player, and he'll always be special. These aren't, hey, say goodbye, thank you, great job, good luck. Oh, these are lifetime relationships, and that's what we're trying to build here. And the other one will come at some point, but man, it's fun to coach really good players who are really good people.
In the way back.
Brad, you had a long embrace with Io there at the end. You're able to share a little bit about what you told him, and do you agree with Kofi's assessment that you guys couldn't lose on Io's night?
They might have wanted to tell me that before the game. Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons to try to be special on a night like this, but I won't tell anybody what Io and I talked about. But it was fun. I have so much respect for him. Had a nice pair of shoes for him that we had made up, and he'll sign one. I'll sign one, and then we'll give him to a charity of his choice, and see if we can make a lot of money for somebody who truly. Who we can help out that way. But fun night, fun to be a part of it, and a lot of love for that young man and his family.
Another one in the back.
Coach, 2-parter for you. Number one, is this the type of toughness that you've been wanting to see all year long, playing back-to-back games in such a short period and getting 2 wins? But also, as a coach now, how do you handle this break you got before the next game, this extended break?
Well, we need the break. But yes, we talked about this before the game. This is an NCAA tournament format. This is a setup, Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday. You've got to handle those situations, and it becomes as much mental as it does physical. I thought we did a pretty good job of preparation and understanding of that. But we'll take tomorrow off. Guys get treatments. Recovery is a big piece of what we do. And then it's nice we've got Saturday to work on us, and we really need to dive into situations and having an opportunity to continue to work on flowing offensively. But yeah, it comes at a good time after 2 back-to-backs and a long layoff.
Right.
Maryland's a team that has given you some trouble over the past few years. Is there a way to defend the bigger wings and things they're posting up? They're running isolations with those guys. What's the key to defending those guys in those situations?
Well, I felt great that we got them into ISOs, that they quit running their stuff. I mean, that was everything they were trying to do was play ISO basketball, and it was usually Ayala with Trent. And people don't realize how strong Trent is. But it usually doesn't involve other parts of their team when they're doing that. And But again, it takes everybody. We've got to support. The thing I worry about as much as anybody is, or anything, is on the glass. When that happens, you get watching the ball, guys start crashing the glass. But I thought we, I don't worry about DeMonte. DeMonte's really strong. He's got great length. He's got that 7-foot wingspan. And then, Trent's just going to fight you. And then, I thought for the most part we gave enough support, dug a little bit when we needed to, and gave ourselves a chance to make things hard for him.
Scott and then Jeremy and Doug, go ahead.
Early in the second half, you were trying to pump up the crowd and really getting after it, and Tim had to hold Chester back. I mean, did you feel like you needed to maybe be a spark as well?
It's the advantage of being at home. It's the advantage of being at home. And Jamar, I love you. Thank you. Happy New Year. We missed the crush. I mean, everybody comes. I mean, it's the student section is huge, and I just, I don't know. I don't do that very often, and I just don't. And we needed everybody tonight, and we needed a little extra energy. We were fighting and competing, and like I said, I don't do it very often. And I'm a coach, not a cheerleader. But tonight we needed to elevate, and we did that tonight. We got 2 more without the crush now. We got Michigan and Purdue without the orange crush, is my understanding. So people right now, I'm just saying, get your rowdy on before those games, because we need them.
Hey, Jeremy.
Brad, there's a 32-year-old all-star that came down here for Io. What do you think that says about DeMar, Io, and just the Bulls' support for him so far?
Yeah, they had a great turnout tonight, and I think it shows that how well liked he is. It's got to mean in the world to Io. DeMar's a guy that's having an NBA caliber year. The Bulls are extremely fun to watch. I'm a huge Billy fan. The job he's done, and Mark Eversley and Arturas and putting that team together, it's been fun to understand it, how they've done it, and I love watching them. So that's cool, man. That's what our guys were talking about in the locker room. They know how good DeMar is, and to understand that, hey, that's one of their guys is hanging with him too. And he is one of the best. But it's really cool, and it means a lot to Io. And the Bulls guys are always welcome at our place. We'll figure out how to get in front row anytime they want to come. Right, Josh?
We did, yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
Coach, kind of a crazy stat. I don't know if I really have a question. Just like your comment on the, 26 second chance points to only 4 for them. That seemed like it's kind of the difference in the game. What's that say about your team?
We emphasize offensive rebounding, and again, nights when that ball doesn't go in on the first one, go get it and try to get as many opportunities as you can. And we have to be a good offensive rebounding team. We don't turn people over a lot, and so maximizing opportunities and playing hard on the glass is something that's really important. Again, I thought DeMonte has 3, Kofi 7, Coleman 6. Those are elite numbers, and that's something that, we've got to continue to do.
Alec and then Joey.
Brad, Kofi talked a lot about the culture of this week and how it was a culture win tonight. How important was Trent for that at halftime when obviously the first half was difficult, and then to come out and respond the way you guys did?
Trent's always great, because I asked him, I said, you might help if you'd make a shot tonight. He goes, I got you, Coach. And Trent's got a great way about him and a great perspective. He's got great confidence. He's been through it. But I walked in the locker room at halftime, and everybody's just okay, and everybody's good, and there's no. It was very professional-like, very business-like, and they knew what they had to do. And I started to say something, and DeMonte jumps in. He goes, Coach, we already talked about that. We're good. Okay. And that's when you don't have to coach them, and they're coaching themselves because they know, you're in a good place. You're in a good place.
All right, Joey.
Brad, when Trent's starting one of those heaters, is there any way that you know that it's about to take off? Like, is there eye contact? Is there body language? Can you just tell it anyway?
Oh, I mean, I try not to look at him. I just try to keep running plays for him. But you know, it's that quick with Trent. You know, he's that instant. You know, he gets one going, and he finds a rhythm. And you know, I was mad at myself at Minnesota because I only got him one look in the first half, but he played the game the right way. But he's a guy I got to continue to try to get going sometimes, and because I know he's capable of that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.